A very long time ago, in a village in Cameroon, there lived an old couple called Mama Rebecca and Papa John. Their village had red, dusty roads and green forests that looked fresh and alive. Everyone in the village knew this couple very well. If you passed near their house, you would always hear peace. There was no shouting, no fighting, only laughter, kindness, and respect. Mama Rebecca was a very kind woman. When people were hungry, her cooking pot was the first they ate from. When someone was sick, she was the one who came to help. When rain fell heavily, people ran to her veranda to stay dry. Papa John was also a calm and gentle man. He did not like trouble. But there was one thing that made them sad. They had been married for many years, but they had no child. Every morning, Mama Rebecca woke up very early to sweep the compound, even before the rooster crowed. While sweeping, she often heard children next door calling, "Mama, Papa." She would smile, but inside her heart, she felt a small pain. Some villagers spoke badly about her. When she passed by, they whispered, "That woman is good, but her womb is closed." Some even said it loudly, like people shouting in the market. Mama Rebecca never answered them. She continued being good and kind. One evening, after Mama Rebecca cooked fufu and eru, she sat with Papa John. She looked at him for a long time, then cleared her throat. Papa John asked, "Rebecca, why are you looking at me like a goat that has stolen cassava?" Mama Rebecca sighed and said, "My husband, I have thought very deeply. I want you to marry another woman." Papa John was shocked. He almost fell from his chair and shouted, "Rebecca, what kind of joke is this? Do you want to turn my life into a village movie?" Mama Rebecca said, "I am serious. If another woman gives you a child, my name will not die. People will stop pointing fingers at me." Papa John argued and begged her to change her mind. He even swore that he did not need a child. But Mama Rebecca stood firm like an iroko tree. Finally, Papa John agreed. Not because he wanted to, but because he wanted to please his wife and make her happy. So Mama Rebecca went to the neighboring village and brought a young woman into the house. Her name was Sarah. She was very beautiful, with shining skin, white teeth, and sharp eyes. When Sarah arrived, Mama Rebecca danced with joy and welcomed her warmly. She said, "My daughter, welcome. This house is your house. If you are hungry, eat. If you are tired, rest. If anyone troubles you, just tell me." Villagers gathered like people watching a free movie. One woman whispered, "Rebecca is strong, oh. If it were me, I would have stayed with my husband without a child." Until she even went and looked for a wife for her husband by herself over my dead body. Another said, "But honestly, not even a radio or TV house has heard such a story." From that day, Mama Rebecca did everything for Sarah. She fetched water, cooked food, washed Sarah's clothes, and even worked on Sarah's farm. If Sarah coughed even once, Mama Rebecca panicked as if something terrible had happened. Papa John watched and shook his head, saying to himself, "Two women in one house with no fighting? God is here." But the human heart can change. As time passed, Sarah became jealous. She noticed that villagers loved Mama Rebecca more than her. When Mama Rebecca passed, people greeted her warmly. When Sarah passed, people still talked about Mama Rebecca behind her back. This made Sarah very angry. Gradually, Sarah started talking badly about Mama Rebecca to Papa John. She said, "Your wife is not as good as you and everyone think. She pretends. She does not want me in this house." Papa John laughed and said, "That woman carries you like her own child." But Sarah did not stop. Every day she added more lies. Slowly, Papa John began to believe her. He started looking at Mama Rebecca with bad eyes, even though Mama Rebecca did not know what she had done wrong. One morning, Sarah shouted from the kitchen, "I am vomiting." Mama Rebecca came to check and smiled. She said, "Congratulations, you are pregnant." Mama Rebecca prepared all Sarah's favorite dishes, went with her for her antenatal visits, ran errands for her, and catered for her like a child. When Sarah gave birth to a baby boy, Mama Rebecca organized a big celebration. The entire village gathered. There was food everywhere. Drums played until people were tired. Even those who were not invited came to eat. During the celebration, Mama Rebecca brought out an old golden necklace that shone brightly and placed it around the baby's neck. She said, "This child is a blessing." Villagers whispered among themselves. One man said, "Why would she give such a beautiful necklace to the child of such a wicked woman?" Another replied, "A good heart is sometimes a weakness." Mama Rebecca ignored them. Years passed and the boy grew up. Mama Rebecca raised him. She carried him on her back, taught him how to walk, and taught him how to greet elders. If Mama Rebecca was not around, the boy would not even eat. You would always find them together. As the boy grew, Sarah's wickedness also grew, especially after doing everything possible to stop the child from going close to Mama Rebecca, to no avail. One day, when Mama Rebecca went to the farm, Sarah and Papa John destroyed all her things. They broke all her pots and pulled up her crops. When villagers saw and heard this, they cried out in shock. Mama Rebecca returned and saw everything destroyed. She did not cry or shout. Papa John and Sarah told her to pack her things and leave the house. Mama Rebecca packed quietly. Before leaving, she turned and said, "Before I go, give me back my golden necklace." That was when trouble began. The necklace was now too tight around the boy's neck. It could not come off. Mama Rebecca said, "Give me back my necklace, even if it means cutting off the boy's neck." Villagers gathered. One woman shouted, "This problem is serious, oh." Another man joked, "Sarah causes more trouble than mosquitoes in the rainy season." Papa John and Sarah brought out a big saw. People screamed, children ran away, women covered their faces. One man said, "We want the necklace as it is, no cut on it." The saw lay there like a snake that refused to bite. Before the situation became worse, the village chief arrived. He listened to everyone carefully, scratched his beard, and then spoke loudly. He said, "For destroying crops, which is against village law, Sarah and Papa John must leave this land." The villagers supported the chief's order. Sarah cried and packed her things. As she was leaving, she called the boy and said, "Come with me." The boy looked at her, then looked at Mama Rebecca. He ran to Mama Rebecca, hugged her legs, and said, "Chief, I'm not going anywhere. She is my mother." The villagers shouted in surprise. Tears ran down Mama Rebecca's cheeks. Even the chief nodded his head. Papa John fell on his knees and cried, "Rebecca, forgive me. I now see my mistake." Mama Rebecca forgave him, and the village chief lifted the ban on him. Mama Rebecca and Papa John raised the child as their own. Peace returned to the house. Laughter returned. Respect returned. So, my people, this story teaches us that a good heart may suffer, but it never loses. Wickedness always exposes itself, and in the village, when someone misbehaves, people will talk. That golden necklace was not just gold. A good heart is the real gold. The end.